Throughout history, there have been countless individuals who have displayed incredible courage and bravery. These are the people who have challenged the status quo, fought for what is right, and left behind legacies that inspire us to this day. Today, we'll be exploring the stories of 11 remarkable historical figures who symbolize courage, bravery, and resilience. Let's begin with Joan of Arc, also known as the Maid of Orleans. At only 17 years old, Joan of Arc led the French army to victory against the English in the Battle of Orleans. Her courage and dedication to her king and country ultimately led to the end of English rule in France. Despite being captured, tortured, and burned at the stake by the English, Joan of Arc continues to inspire us with her unwavering loyalty. Next, we have Spartacus, a Roman slave who led a daring revolt against the Roman Republic. Spartacus fought not only against Rome's military power, but against the very foundations of the Roman state, which was based on slavery. Although Spartacus and his rebel army were eventually defeated, his story of courage in the face of insurmountable odds remains an inspiration for those fighting for freedom today. Moving on, we have Harriet Tubman, an American abolitionist and Underground Railroad conductor. Harriet risked her life to lead many African Americans to freedom during the 19th century. She escaped slavery herself and made numerous trips back into slaveholding states, guiding over 300 enslaved people to freedom. Her courage, intelligence, and unwavering faith continue to inspire us. Another African American figure of immense courage is Sojourner Truth. Sojourner challenged the norms of her time by advocating for the abolition of slavery and women's rights. She spoke eloquently about the inequality she witnessed and even sued a slave owner to gain the freedom of her youngest son. Sojourner's words and actions inspire us to this day. Now let's turn our attention to Nelson Mandela, a true icon of courage and leadership. Nelson Mandela fought against apartheid in South Africa and was unjustly jailed for 27 years. Despite the ongoing repression and injustice he faced, Mandela's resilience and courage inspired the people of South Africa and eventually led to the end of apartheid. His words and actions remind us of the power of hope and unity. We can't discuss courageous leaders without mentioning Mahatma Gandhi, the famous leader of India's freedom fight. Gandhi preached nonviolence and civil disobedience, demonstrating that individuals have the power to enact change. His courage and determination paved the way for India's independence. Another modern-day inspiration is Malala Yousafzai, a Pakistani activist and Nobel Prize winner. Malala stood up for girls' education despite being targeted by the Taliban. Her refusal to be silenced turned her into a global symbol of courage and education for girls everywhere. Muhammed Ali, also known as the People's Champion, was not only an iconic boxer, but also a powerful voice for peace, racial harmony, and human rights. Despite facing numerous arrests and backlash, Ali clung to his principles and became an example of courage and resilience. Mary Seacole, a Jamaican nurse and pioneering figure, risked her own life to save injured soldiers during the Crimean War. Despite facing racism, Mary provided medical care, nutrition, and comfort to those in need. Her advocacy for women's rights in the midst of British colonialism further exemplifies her courage. Rosa Parks, a figure synonymous with the civil rights movement in the United States, displayed immense courage when she refused to give up her seat on a bus. Her act of defiance acted as a catalyst for change and inspired countless others to fight for justice and equality. Lastly, we have Nelson Cavaquinho, a Portuguese poet and singer who used his music to resist oppression during Portugal's dictatorship. Despite being arrested several times for his political lyrics, Nelson continued to write and sing, championing the struggles of the Portuguese people. These 11 individuals, from Joan of Arc to Nelson Cavaquinho, embody the power of courage and the resilience to fight for justice, whether they stood alone or with a group. Their stories remind us of the strength individuals have to challenge the status quo and leave behind a lasting legacy.